Apparently, there's a story of a teacher in Georgia basically saying we should stop educating women. I mean, like, what? This is insane. Listen to this. This dude recorded it. And like as they go, I'm thinking to myself, this has got to be fake, right? Or something? No, it's real.
So Erasmus, he helped promote the education of women. Don't you think that was the worst thing ever to happen when we started educating women? What you guys think?
Don't you think it's the worst thing ever when we started educating women? What? Erasmus was a Dutch philosopher and theologian of the Renaissance, considered the prince of humanists. He was a Catholic priest who criticized the church corruption but remained a reformer from within, known for his scholarly editions of the New Testament in Greek and his influential satirical work, The Praise of Folly. He was around, he died in 1536 in Switzerland, so give you a little bit of context. He's around when Martin Luther was around, basically. And they're saying, this dude is saying that we started educating women and it was a bad thing. This is wild, dude.
Was it good or bad to educate women?
Good.
I mean, he just said it was bad. Just now, the guy did.
Good.
What?
Why?
Yeah.
Someone still stuff today.
Was it good or bad to educate women?
Bad.
Why?
Because we don't need that. I don't know.
Because we don't need them. I don't know.
Because this is a man's world.
Yeah.
And women are not supposed to know no more than we let them know.
And women aren't supposed to know no more than we let them know. That's insane.
Yeah. Yeah.
Don't you feel the same way, Harlow?
I don't.
You don't?
What's wrong with him?
What's wrong with him?
Are you crazy?
What y'all saying? What's happening?
Man, he said, don't you?
Why do you think women should be educated?
Why shouldn't
Because it's a man's world.
But you let women know too much, then they'll boss you around.
Dude, the kids are now repeating him. He told them what the answer he wanted them to give him, because it's a man's world. And then he asked again, why shouldn't we let them be educated? And now they're repeating it.
Because it's a man's world.
That is some straight up disturbing right there. Holy Christ on a cracker, bro. You know, I got this book recommendation from a World War II scholar, an expert in World War II, in the church in World War II specifically. And the book recommendation apparently is like a brand new book. And I grabbed it earlier when she suggested it. The name of it was Man Up, The New Misogyny and the Rise of Violent Extremism by Cynthia Miller Idris. And it's fascinating. It basically argues that incel culture, incel beliefs are responsible for the vast majority of extremism in the United States today. Like almost, basically all of it somehow ties into the incel ideology and mistreatment of women. And nearly, if not every single mass attacker, or like right-wing mass attacker, had stalked or harassed women at one time or another, and was like on record as having stalked and harassed women. It's a really, really interesting read, and you should give it a read if you haven't already. It just came out, apparently, this book, like a month ago or something, 3 weeks ago. But she points out in the book that there is no FBI category for this kind of misogyny. There's right-wing extremism, there's nihilistic extremism, there's left-wing extremism. There are all kinds of different, ideological, political motivations like anti-Islamic or pro-Islamic extremism or whatever. But there isn't a misogynistic extremism category when it pretty much all routes back to that in one way or another. I thought it was a really interesting argument. You should check that book out if you haven't already. With the internet being taken apart, I'm buying physical copies of books far more than I would regularly read, so I can keep learning when it's gone. Haven't heard about the internet having trouble. What do you mean? You're in Canada, aren't you? Are you having issues with like Canadian law? I haven't been paying close attention up there to what's going on. Well, anyway, yeah, check the book out. It's really interesting. And apparently she has a podcast too. Man Up. Podcast is Man Up, Conversations on Gendered Hate in the Digital Age. Okay, let's continue.
But you let women know too much, then they'll boss you around.
No.
If you let them know too much, they will boss you around. What?
They'll boss you around.
It's no. Because it takes two rectangle. A man can't produce a baby, so.
Anytime produce is about control.
Wait, it takes two rectangles. A man can't produce a baby? I appreciate her fighting back on this, but like women aren't just good for producing babies. That's feeding right into it. So men are producers. It's about control. What?
Anytime produce is about control. I don't want my wife to know nothing.
I don't want my wife to know nothing.
I don't want her to tell me. No, I don't want her to know nothing. I don't want her to know just very little. So I can control a paycheck, tell when to eat, sleep.
What the hell?
Yeah.
That's psychotic. So I can tell her when to eat and sleep? What?
Yeah, right.
Oh.
Yeah.
Mm.
That's one way to control. I'm just saying. But of course, now that's personal. But as a teacher, I have to tell y'all that women are entitled to the same education, quality education. Hey, we through with it. Say what?
What the is happening right now, right? As a teacher, this is personal. Women need to not, we shouldn't have educated women. But as a teacher, they're entitled to the same education. Like, the guy sounds black, and this is a black kid in this video at the very least. Is he not like sensitive to black issues and how black people were oppressed and forced to not participate in society, how they were not allowed to get an education equal to white people? Has he seen the Louisiana literacy test? Have you guys seen that? They used to give this literacy test to black people to prevent them from voting. If you didn't pass this literacy test, then you couldn't vote. And it was absurd. Like, draw a line around the number or letter of this sentence. What? Draw a line around the number or letter of this sentence? What does that even mean? Draw a line under the last word in this line. Cross out the longest word in this line. Draw a line around the shortest word in this line. Circle the first letter of the alphabet in this line. No, I didn't misspeak. It says, quote, circle the first letter of the alphabet in this line. In the space below, draw 3 circles, one inside or engulfed by the other. 3 circles, but you've only instructed me on what to do with 2 of the 3 circles. It was written intentionally to be ambiguous and confusing so that there really is no correct answer. You can get an answer that's pretty damn close to correct, as close as anybody could get, but the test grader or whatever will subjectively decide, well, nope, that one wasn't correct. You got that one wrong. How can somebody like be so oblivious to their own history or to the history of the students in their class and say some like this? This is nuts.
By the way, guys, check out my new shop, owenmorgan.com/shop. I have a bunch of really cool designs on there.
Now, I thought to myself, this is not real, right? This cannot be real. Well, I went and searched to find out what was going on. Viral video, Clayton County teacher tells class women shouldn't be educated. This is a Georgia local newspaper. A video of a Georgia teacher telling a class full of students that women shouldn't be educated is going viral on social media. In the video, the teacher, who is not identified, can be heard asking his class if they think women should be educated. Like, what? He goes on to explain that he doesn't want women to know too much and wants to be in control. He says he doesn't want his wife to know anything, to which a female student asks if he's cheating on his wife. And he conveniently paused for a good long moment and then said, No, I'm not cheating. The video was posted by a parent at Lovejoy High School. She said in an update that she spoke to the principal of the high school, Kevin Griffin, who said he saw the video and the school is conducting an investigation. The teacher did say that it was his opinion, but as an educator, he had to tell him that women are entitled to the same education. This is like very, very similar to the article that was written about me, except, about West Virginia, where my kid was in health class and the health teacher started saying, you got to know Jesus. And I don't care if you want to wear women's clothes if you're a man. I just don't believe in that. And, I don't accept that people are gay and all that other. We reported her to like the school board and everything else. And one of these articles came out about us, and except it was critical of us. It was critical of me. This is the article right here. There you go. This is the newspaper. I framed it because I view it as So I view it as me fighting for my kids' rights. I was proud to fight this battle and even put myself in danger to do so, and I definitely was in danger. At the time, people were like circling my house, slashing my tires, and I put like a hood and a face mask on and got in my car and we started driving. My wife was driving and I got out, walked to the newspaper stand and looked to see if my name was on the front page. And if it was, we got back in and we kept driving so we could get some gas until we were out of the area and then went to a safer location. It was disturbing. Here we have an example of a teacher doing the wrong thing yet again. But this article's a little less favorable to the teacher than the other one was. There's that, I suppose. I really hope that this teacher is fired. Mine wasn't. The investigation into the teacher I was dealing with opened and then ended in like a day with nothing. Just the investigation came to a close. That was it. She gets to keep her job. No repercussions, no nothing. Absolutely insane. But, public pressure does work. Public pressure works. If we have enough people talk about this, if we draw enough attention to this, there will be consequences. Here we go. This is an 8-minute version. Let me jump forward. I think this is the mom.
Don't you think that was the worst thing ever?
What's up, TikTok fam? Okay, so first of all, I want to say thank you. Thank you for all the encouraging words. Thank you for all the advice. We have gained some new TikTok aunties and uncles. Noah is like, look at all my aunties and uncles. Y'all wrote it down for us. I know y'all been calling. I know these people have seen this video. It's amazing. And I just want to say thank you. Okay, so yes, I did.
To be fair, I got a groundswell of support on social media as well. It was incredible. I didn't ask for any donations, but people just started donating to my PayPal, like without the request or anything. And it's lucky that they did too, because I needed to get out of the area and I did not have the money to. So I really found myself in a much better situation because people supported me. This is like in 2022, maybe, or 2021. 2021, I think.
Just leave the meeting with the principal of Lovejoy High School. His name is, I got his card right here. His name is Kevin Griffin, Dr. Kevin Griffin. Shout out to him. Dr. Griffin was very down to earth. The first thing he said is, yes, I've seen the video and it is not good. Like, they know.
Like, why did you hire that person then? Why did you hire this person? Why is this really the first complaint they've had? Why did you continue to allow this to go on?
They know. He got a call from the superintendent from the board early this morning. So, everyone knows. Y'all have made the video go viral. So everyone knows, he's going to do his investigation. And his investigation entails calling all the students that were in the class in that moment down to get their viewpoint and to, get how they felt about it. Of course, gathering all the full video. I sent in a full video today. And also basing off of my recommendation, which I want the man gone. I just feel like he should just go ahead and retire.
Yes, absolutely. Get him out of there. What is he still doing there? I didn't name the teacher in my situation. She named herself. She spoke to the press publicly as Mrs. Ashworth. She said her name. She wanted it to be out there because she believed herself to be a martyr for Christ or whatever. But what is this guy afraid of? Why is he afraid to put his name out there? Come on, let's hear it. You gave us your views. Put your name behind it. Why not, right?
Again, this will be a second time, but yeah, it's time to go ahead and lay it down, baby. Just go ahead and sit down. And go, whatever. But so, and then the principal's recommendation as well, and with all of that, the superintendent and the school board will make a very intelligent decision, not just based on my son's experience, but based on all the students, the whole class experience, so.
Sorry, I'm grabbing the video real fast.
I pretty much know what's going to happen, and I'm grateful that these men are stepping up. So when I went there, the principal was a man. I'm like, okay, I didn't know, if he how close he was with his teacher. He's only been there a year. You know what I'm saying? He's been great for the school.
But the principal, I guess.
Principal Griffin has been great for Lovejoy. the whole year, So, but I didn't, I didn't know how, So I went in there but he was like, yeah, no, this is not good. This is not cool. This is not what we're doing,
Yeah, what a wild fucking thing to say, right? I mean, absolutely nuts. When I was younger, I didn't have any political views at all, really. I mean, some people in my life kind of pushed me to have some political views and just asked me, and without second thought, I just kind of espoused some. Like, I was pro-Iraq war because I believed that we should go in and defend ourselves from 9/11. Obviously, just complete nonsense, right? Like, I had no idea what was going on. Like, Iraq was not involved in 9/11 at all, and so many problems with it. But the point is, I didn't really have any involvement in politics at all because I was a Jehovah's Witness. After coming out of Jehovah's Witnesses, I used to make edgy jokes. I was absolutely pro-gay. I was absolutely pro-women's equality. Like, it's not even up for debate. I didn't have to think deeply about that to just be in favor of people living their lives, right? But I used to make jokes all the time to my mom, like, like misogynistic jokes just to kind of gauge her reaction. And she did not like it. As a Jehovah's Witness, she did not find them funny. Again, I was a head, so give me a break. I'm not a head anymore. I've done that, periodically to people in my life just to kind of gauge, and not one single person I have ever done that to from when I was younger thought it was funny. I don't know a single woman in my life that's ever been in my life who's thought this stuff was funny. How is it that this is such a prevalent viewpoint, this misogynistic position, when such a small percentage of the world holds it, in all seriousness? Is wild. The corporations who run the internet are bending the knee to Trumpism, and it's becoming hard to find information in the West. Oh, that's not good. That doesn't surprise me. I'm concerned about what's going to happen to YouTube, and YouTubers more specifically. I love it how all these self-appointed martyrs for Christ aren't even sacrificing anything most of the time, right? They're not. Yeah, what are they sacrificing exactly? This is like Shane Vaughn the other day. He said he's given his life to Jesus, given up so much for Jesus. What the f*** did you give up? You're a multimillionaire now. You have a massive platform. You have a lot of attention. People listen to what you have to say. What did you give up specifically? Name one thing you gave up for Jesus. I also made messed up jokes feel people out. Yeah, that's what I did. I don't do that stuff anymore, certainly, but I try to feel people out and see where they are. And not one single person was ever in favor of jokes like that. And I was around people of all kinds of different, political values, beliefs, and positions.
And that's just real. You know what I'm saying? And I thank him for being honest. I thank him for not being upset with Noah. He told Noah he did the right thing. So
that's nice.
So the banning phones in school at Lovejoy, they're not tripping because look at what it's.
In my situation, there was a teacher on the inside who contacted FFRF and told them that there was a private administration group chat doxing our address and information and everything. The teachers and principal and administration at the school were doxing us and sending pictures of our house around. That's wild, right? So that's a plus. Sign up for my Patreon. I'd really appreciate that very much. It would mean so much to me. This is like a really precarious moment in history, in U.S. history, and for me personally. So it would mean a lot if you sign up for my Patreon. Check out cultarchive.org. I did a cult test, basically, where you can see if you're in a cult. And you can look at the historical tests of other groups that already went through this. Also, check out my merch. I have a whole bunch of really cool shirts and stuff. Really interesting. I would really appreciate that.
And Lovejoy, they're not tripping because look at what it's not like Noah just be filming everything and it's not like that. He caught that in the moment because it was supposed to be caught. My son had been hearing these things from this man since the beginning of the school year and never caught it on camera, never, but this time he was fed up. So I appreciate the principal looking at Noah and saying, hey, you did the right thing. Because, no one knows this, but I'm a widow. My son, Noah, the one in the video, his father passed away 4 years ago, my husband,
That's hard. I'm sorry to hear that.
So, and I don't have a significant other, so I am a single mother raising my child now, not by choice, but because his father passed away. And me and my husband's mom, shout out to my mother-in-law. I love her. She was at the meeting with me, Clayton County Sheriff. Thank you so much, Mama. I love you. Me not having my husband, it's already, hard for me, not just financially, but emotionally. Like I can only show him how to be a good human being. I can't show Noah how to be a man, So I do expect the men that I allow in his life, which is people at his school, right? That they spend more time with him during the day than I do, because my son is in bed. He does activities. He loves school, right? So I do expect those men to hold a certain stature. I do expect those men to teach my son the right thing and not the wrong.
Yeah, be respectable. Absolutely.
So yes, it's very deep, it's very detailed, and the school board knows, and they are not happy. So y'all do not have to worry. Y'all do not think that this man is gonna get off with a slap on the wrist. No, he's not.
Unfortunately, it's indicative of an underlying issue. And like I said, you guys should check out that book that I mentioned, Man Up, Conversations on Gendered Hate in the Digital Age, is the name of the podcast. The new Misogyny and the Rise of Violent Extremism is the name of the book. Fascinating read. But anyway, yeah, tell me what you think about it in the comments. That's disturbing. At least she has support here, for real. And I'm sorry, since we're here, there's one more thing about this that I want to mention. I came across this video like yesterday. She said just a minute ago, she said, not by choice. I'm not like single by choice. She's a single black mother. She's a statistic that's used by the far right all the time to justify bigotry and hatred and stereotypes and prejudice and things. Since she mentioned that, I might as well mention this as well. This is like a really, really good example of systemic racism that I found like yesterday. Listen to this guy. This is a Harvard lawyer, a defense attorney.
I went to Harvard Law School. I've got a lot of degrees and awards. I've won cases at the U.S. Supreme Court, and I've been in courtrooms representing clients, getting there early, sitting at defense counsel's table, where the judge will walk in and immediately get mad at me. The judge will look at me and say, hey, you get back out there in the hallway. I don't want any defendants sitting in my courtroom without their lawyer. And I have to stand up.
Of course, simply because he's black. That's why that happened. Because he's black. No other reason. Prejudice. You're prejudging somebody based on the color of their skin. Bigotry. It's clear as day. I mean, this is only tangentially related to the education and women thing, but I figured it's a good opportunity to bring it up. Why not? Since we're here, right? So how does this guy react?
And say, well, I'm sorry, Your Honor. I am the lawyer. I didn't introduce myself. My name is Brian Stevenson. I have to try to de-escalate this situation.
Why the f*** is it on him to de-escalate this f*** up that the judge made? Why is it his responsibility to deal with this dip's f***ups? Because if he doesn't, then his client is f***ed. That's why. That's why it's on him. This is systemic racism. This is an example of people in the system. Maybe he's not racist. Maybe the judge is not racist, but not consciously, but unconsciously, he sees a black person and thinks criminal. Unconsciously. The system is built to create this environment where you automatically assume that black people are criminals.
And I was doing that recently. I was in a courtroom in the Midwest, and the judge started laughing, but it wasn't an apologetic laugh. And it kind of angered me. And the prosecutor started laughing. They thought it was so funny. And I was sitting there getting angry. And then I thought, oh no, Brian, you can't get angry. You need to smile. You may need to laugh. And I felt that way. I thought that way because my client was not going to be able to leave that county. I was able to leave that county and never come back based on the way I was treated if I chose to do that. But my client was going to have to stay there. So when they were laughing, I smiled. And then I eventually chuckled. Client came in, we did the hearing. But I remember sitting in my car after that hearing thinking, wow, here I am, this middle-aged black man. I'm in my best suit. I actually argued the case at the Supreme Court that we were trying to implement. I've got all of these degrees and awards, and I'm still required to laugh at my own humiliation to do justice for my client. That's not right. That's not fair. And I'm getting old enough to know that when you have to constantly navigate presumptions of dangerousness and guilt because of your color, when you have to tell your children how to survive a police encounter, what to do and what not to do, how they can't do the things that their white friends can do because they're going to be burdened with this presumption, when you have to constantly navigate this world, it's exhausting. And I want something better. I want something better for everybody. And something better for everybody. And that's why the commitment to truth-telling, the commitment to building institutions that help us understand the harms of history is such a priority.
The point is that this woman felt that it was necessary to say, not by choice, I'm not a single mother by choice, I'm a single mother because I'm a widow. She shouldn't have felt the need to say that. I mean, it is necessary to say, apparently, in this environment, because people make all kinds of assumptions about you otherwise. But we shouldn't live in an environment where that is necessary in the first place, right? Can we at least meet on middle ground there? Anyway, tell me what you think about it in the comments. Absolutely wild.